What's up, guys? How are you? The gate was 2.11 million, 19th straight sellout, highest grossing fight night, highest grossing sporting event in the arena. The attendance was 16,979. The performance bonuses went to Lemos, Leach, Simone, Algio, Jacoby, Puna, and fight of the night was Schnell and Sue. They all won $50,000.
That's it.
Down here, Dana. Another bunch of bonuses. Just you're having a great night and felt like giving out more money.
Yeah, you know we've been doing. I've been handing out lots of money lately, so yeah.
Obviously, the main event was sort of just getting going, and then it finished in that way.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks.
Yeah, sucks. It's a rough sport, and these things happen, you know. But to have such a and it looked like it was shaping up to be a great fight. So, you know, these things happen. What are you going to do? It sucks, but
it's a weird one, right? Because it's sort of like the fight almost didn't happen in a way. They both mentioned about running it back. Is that something you even think about, or do you just move on?
He probably needs shoulder surgery now, and you know, God knows, I had shoulder surgery. It's a nightmare, and it takes a long time to recover from. And you know, we'll see what happens. I'm not even thinking about that right now, but awesome that they both want to do it.
Another event on ABC. You know, tonight we saw the guys in the golden jackets. I'm curious what it means to you to still be working with ABC and how that experience is.
I mean, any of us that grew up, you know, that are around my age, you know, remember the golden jackets and ABC's Wide World of Sports and all the big events that were on. So to be a part of something like that now, and for these guys to get Cormier was geeking out over the jacket. He was going crazy and sending me pictures and everything else. So yeah, we're all pretty excited about it.
You also announced Charles is fighting Islam in Abu Dhabi.
Right.
Just tell us your thoughts about that fight, why that one's the way you went, and tell us about it.
Well, we tried to make that the Dariush fight. He broke his ankle. You know, that fight makes sense in Abu Dhabi. Everybody wanted to do it. I think everybody wanted to see it. So here we are.
Obviously, he's not officially champion, but will Charles still get the pay-per-view points? Have you worked that out yet?
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, he's the champ, but
one of those things.
Technically, he's not the champ.
Yeah. We didn't get to see you at the International Fight Week. Everything okay? Where were you?
I was on vacation. Yeah. Everything was awesome.
What did you think of Israel's performance against Jared Cannonier?
What did I think of what?
Israel's Adesanya's performance.
He won. I mean, I don't know if it was the performance that that he wanted to give or that he was selling leading into that fight. And you know, the other thing is, you know, I don't think his opponent was very aggressive either. So it takes two to make a great fight.
Do you think that's starting to happen with Israel, where like you see Romero didn't really come forward and Cannonier didn't come forward? Do you think he started entering that Anderson phase where people kind of freeze up in front of him?
Yeah, it's interesting. It won't happen in the next fight.
I'm going to ask your thoughts on that.
There aren't when you're sitting here in my position, you can't give too many guarantees. You know, I could say stylistically on paper this should be, you know, or you know, we feel this is going to be. I fucking guarantee you. I absolutely positively guarantee you that the next fight that Israel Adesanya fights will be absolutely batshit nuts.
Just one last one from me. Curious if we have an update on Khamzat Chimaev. I mean, he's fought in Abu Dhabi before. I wondered if maybe he'd go there again. Do you know what you're doing with him yet?
No, but we're working on it right now. There's tons of issues right now. You know, obviously, you see what's going on in boxing. There's guys that can't get in the country, and you know, there's always visa issues right now. You know, the world is nuts right now in many different ways. And so you know, we're trying to get all that stuff figured out. But Khamzat will fight soon.
Thank you.
Hey, Dana. Just talking about the featherweight title picture, Josh Emmett's been very outspoken that he thinks he's going to be the next guy in line. Uriah Faber's come out and said some stuff as well. Do you feel like with the way that things played out tonight that he will be next in line? Or do you think that it could be Yair? Can you kind of talk to me about that thought process?
Yeah, I don't know. Right here off the top of my head. What did you say about Josh Emmett? That he was?
I said he's been calling for the shot, saying he should be the next guy, and Uriah Faber's kind of come out and said it should be him too.
Yeah. I mean, every guy thinks it should be their guy. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, listen, there's no doubt Josh is one of the guys.
And just going off what Oscar said, International Fight Week, we saw Donald Cerrone announce his retirement. We didn't get to talk to you then, so I'd like to get your thoughts now.
Yeah, I think it was time, and I'm happy for him. He's been so fun to have in this organization, and he's such a good guy, and I'm happy for him, and sad for him at the same time.
And Nate Diaz has been very vocal recently about saying that you guys have been holding him hostage and all this stuff. He's been trying to get a fight. Did you hear his comments? And I guess from your perspective, is there any response?
No. I mean, when isn't Nate Diaz saying something crazy, I've said this a million times, and I'll say it again. We can't hold guys hostage. It's not possible, okay? I owe you 3 fights a year. If I don't fight you 3 times a year, I have to pay you. How can I hold him hostage?
And one more update. Anything with John Jones? I know it sounded like maybe Stipe, and then we haven't really heard much since then.
Working on that, too. Hopefully, he should fight this year. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. It's all going to depend on Francis and his knee.
Have you talked to him at all recently?
Yeah. We had a meeting with him last week.
Any sort of timeline for him?
Soon, I hope.
Great, thanks.
I'll let you know when I know.
Thanks,
Dana. Dana, right here.
Yep.
Jim Grease, MMA Weekly. It seems like so long ago that you guys couldn't get into New York, and here you are in another beautiful new building here.
Yeah.
Do you still get that little extra sense of satisfaction every time you come here?
I mean, we've been here so many times now, but yeah, it's nice to get out to Long Island. This arena is beautiful, and the crowd was awesome. They were a rough crowd, Jesus Christ. If you don't run right out and start punching each other in the face, flashlights, booze, all kinds of shit going on, but they were a fun crowd. This place was ready for some fights.
For a Boston fan to say that about New York, right? It's always good. The fans are always great in those cities. But I want to see who else stood out to you on this card, because we saw some great fights and comebacks. Who else stood out to you for the performance tonight?
Yeah, I mean, look at the performance bonuses that I got Lemos, Leach, Simone, Algio, Jacoby, Puna, Schnell. I mean, Jesus Christ. The guy got rocked 5 or 6 times, looked like it was over, like it was out, and he comes back and wins. I mean, realistically, Schnell won fight of the night with Sue, but he's not getting another 50, but I'll probably write him another one too. He killed it tonight. He looked incredible. Yeah.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right.
Dana, so follow up on Nate Diaz. So what is your plans like to get him back in there? What would you guys like to be doing with
What
him?
do you think my plans are? We're going to get him a fight.
Well, like how soon? Are you looking to get him in the next couple months? Or?
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
And then the other
I have to get him 3 fights a year. I offer fights. He either accepts them or turns them down. And obviously, I'm not paying him. So I've offered him fights.
So he's turning them down.
This is the bullshit game I'm not going to play.
Okay.
I'm not going to play this fucking game where you ask me, but let's talk more about Nate Diaz. And then you're going to go out and write fucking, or whoever's watching this, he said he turned down fights. I'm not playing that game.
All right, that's fine.
All right.
So as far as Shane Burgos, who's saying now his contract is up, what are you guys looking to do? You're trying to re-up him, right?
Yeah. We would definitely re-up him. Savage.
This is a big win for him, obviously, in New York. He's now 7-0 here. I mean, do you guys like to put him in New York, like, specifically more than, say, other guys? Because obviously there's no Long Island guys on this card.
Shane?
Yeah, Shane.
You can put Shane and fucking Tim Butt, too, and people are going to be happy to have him on the card. He's the kind of guy that people love to see fight.
And then why didn't we see any Long Island guys? Usually you like to stack them.
I don't know. Why, were you unhappy with the lineup tonight?
No, it was great. It was great. But just in general, you guys tend to stack your Long Island cards with Long Island guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that didn't happen this time. Next time.
So, a couple quick questions.
Yeah.
Don't jump down my throat, but it is a Nate
I
Diaz
might.
question. So, what is the procedure?
And I'm fresh off vacation, too. I'm in a fucking great mood today.
What is the procedure if you offer Nate, hey, we want you to fight Khamzat. Here, would you want to fight? Nate says yes. Khamzat says no. Theoretically, obviously, may or may not have ever happened. I'm not trying to say it did.
Right.
Does that count as one of the 3? Just to elaborate for everybody.
Does that if Nate accepts a fight and his opponent turns it down?
Correct.
What is that? Then we go for another opponent.
So it
No,
doesn't
no,
count as one of those 3.
And
It-
not
to say you have, but if you have offered Nate a fight, but somebody else said no, we don't want to fight Nate, does that count as like we have to offer you 3 fights a year, or does it have?
yeah. No, we would offer him another fight.
Okay.
Yeah, if somebody didn't want to fight him, then we'd offer him another fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
It's very rare we get into situations where you get a fight like that and a guy turns a fight like that down.
okay. Fair. And the last question is also dovetailing on what was said earlier in the 45 division. Volkanovski has said a few times he wants to maybe move up and challenge for the 55 belt.
Right.
What are the thoughts of maybe doing something like Yair Rodriguez and Josh Emmett in, as maybe an interim or something?
Yeah. I mean, Volkanovski, I think, is going to have surgery on his hand. I think there's something wrong with his hand. And, yeah, we'll figure it. Yeah. You're asking if that's a possibility? I like it. I don't hate it.
Hey, Dana.
Hey.
Mac, right here. Max Milstein, WRHUFM. We've seen recently that you guys are targeting Sterling versus Dillashaw. Just can I get your thoughts on that fight?
Yes, true. Yeah, that's the fight we're looking to do next. Yep. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that matchup, like what you like about that
Well, I think
matchup.
it's a fun fight. Obviously, Dillashaw is one of the best in the world, former world champion. And, yeah.
Hey, Dana. We're from Brazil, so any plans for Teixeira and Prochaska, and any plans for an event in Brazil?
Yeah, what were we talking about for Brazil? You guys, next year, right? Yeah, next year. We won't be to Brazil till next year.
And Teixeira and Prochaska, I saw a post Jerry did about accepting a rematch. He wants to do a rematch.
Yeah, I saw that he wants that rematch too. We haven't really talked about that yet though, but I respect the fact that he wants to fight him again. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Dana, Mike, 77 WABC.
Hey, buddy.
Hate to ask you this question, but it's part of my job. I'm not sure if you heard earlier in the week, Jake Paul, he was on the fan. He was throwing typical jabs at you. What do you say to Jake?
I mean, is this still something? Is this still a thing?
It is still. He was on the fan.
It isn't to me. I could care less. He's a pay-per-view turd.
Do you think there's any chance, are you open to giving him a chance to fight in the UFC?
I would never say never, but that's the last fucking thing on earth I'm thinking about.
Do you at all keep in contact with him? Like,
Yeah, we talk all the time. Yeah,
This is real.
he was on vacation with me when
animosity, Thank you.
Thank you. I could tell you guys are done with me now. If we're getting into fucking Jake Paul questions here, yeah.
Oh, we could always go to Jake Paul question. It's not that bad. Or even I'll go there for you real quick. Do you know Hasim Rahman Jr. at all? I know you're a big boxing guy.
I know of him. I saw he just got knocked out by Tommy Morrison's son.
So I know this is going to be a question that you're going to get asked 100 times. What are your thoughts on that fight? Do you think Rahman ends the Jake Paul hype train?
Well, he just got knocked out. Why wouldn't you go after the guy who knocked him out?
That's a tougher fight.
That's not the business I'm in. I'm in a different business than that. I'm in the tough fight business.
And then even, I have endless questions for you, Dana, but even like a Logan Paul question. I know you spoke to Logan a little bit when you were on the podcast, and you mentioned a little bit like you might be interested in possibly having him potentially do a UFC fight one day. Was there any more talks?
Well, I like Logan Paul, but I don't. I would never say never that, I would never do that, but every Tuesday I go into matchmaking, and we don't talk about that kind of stuff.
And then I know you have endless, you said a lot of big fights are coming up. Can you give us one?
I can't. When we're ready to announce it, I will.
Is Colby versus Poirier potentially one of them, or is that a fight that you might be entertaining? Because we spoke to Colby one night, and he was like, it's looking like Poirier.
Well, Colby's one of these guys. He said he'll fight at 170, 155, or 185. So there are lots of options for Colby.
And then last thing, thank you. We'll just say thank you, Dana, for returning from a much-deserved vacation. The events aren't the same without you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just to
Yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
Hi, Dana.
Yeah.
Ike Feldman with NBC Sports.
Hi.
Not going to ask you about Nate Diaz. What about Nick? I'm just kidding. No, looking forward to UFC 277. Juliana Pena, Amanda Nunes. Juliana Pena is a favorable underdog for that fight as well. Not as big as the first fight. I think she was like a plus 600.
Right.
Here I'm seeing a plus 250. What are your thoughts about that fight and that matchup? Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Obviously, huge upset in the first fight, and we're going to find out if Amanda still has that fire and she comes back, and if this fight is any different. But they just had I was just talking about ESPN had the the Fighters Choice Awards or the Fighters the SBI. How's Juliana Pena not on the list after beating the greatest female fighter of all time? Come on, ESPN. That's craziness.
I wasn't going to ask about them, but because they've come up. Jake Paul, this fight, are you surprised that it's on Showtime, considering the pay-per-view buys probably aren't going to be like a massive sellout with this?
That sounds like something the Weasel would do. I mean, to be honest with you, when you think about it, you got Tyson Fury. He can't get out of the country over there. Whatever else is going on in boxing. What else do they have going on? What else do they have? I don't know. I don't know why they would do that again. But, yeah. It's just, I know you guys love to ask me this stupid shit. This is not what I do. And I'm at the point, like, it was all the stuff's going back and forth. It's silly. It's just silly for me to even fucking talk about this. It's silly.
Yeah. The last one for me then, and it is a Nate question. I'm curious. You were in a meeting with him, and he said in an interview that he said the only opponents in the UFC he'd like to fight or interested in was Ngannou and Adesanya. Do you remember that meeting? And what was your reaction when he said that?
That Nate Diaz said Ngannou and Adesanya?
Nate said the only guys in the UFC he'd be interested in fighting was Ngannou and Adesanya, but it's not that he wanted to fight them, just they were the only best ones in the sport right now or something.
And what should I say to that?
I'm curious what your reaction was when you say that. Do you just sort of go, okay?
Yeah, imagine having a fucking conversation like that. I mean, come on.
Fair enough.
Nate Diaz versus Francis Ngannou. What should I say?
Is that what
fucking stand there like, holy shit, this is crazy.
I figured that was the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, last one right here. So, you guys come to New York City in November every year. Are we still planning that this year? Is that what we're going to see?
Yeah. Hopefully, we're coming back to MSG in November.
Okay.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Big fan, Dana. Welcome back.